Let's update you now on the Super Typhoon Ragasa, the equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane. Ragasa is the world's strongest storm this year. It is now heading to the Chinese mainland, approaching the Guangdong coast. It's been through Taiwan. 15 people were killed when a lake burst its banks there. Following the passage of this very powerful typhoon, the fire department says 17 people are still missing from that. Let's show you some of the live pictures. This is Hong Kong. They have really felt this storm. Authorities have slightly downgraded their typhoon warning from the highest level there is, 10. It's now down at 8, but that means it's still very serious. Hundreds of flights are grounded, schools and businesses are shut. Now, Ragasa is moving and it's expected to still bring wind speeds of up to 120 kilometres per hour, as well as really dangerous storm surges of up to 5 metres. And that, together with high tides, we were talking to an expert earlier, that's a really dangerous combination. Let's just show you Macau, the streets empty. Actually, I'm just wondering, we're looking at Macau and the streets are really empty because this storm is being taken seriously. People not in the streets. A lot of rainfall there has been over previous hours, and really that region bracing itself for more. This is not over. Climate scientist and typhoon expert Professor Jung-Eun Chu from the City University of Hong Kong gave me the latest.
So currently, Typhoon Ragasa has been downgraded from super typhoon to severe storms. And now it is located about 200 kilometers west of Hong Kong. But here, when typhoon moved to the west, they started to bring a southerly wind that bring a lot of storm surges into the coastline. So, so far, like in Hong Kong, 50 temporary shelters are operating, and more than 400 fallen tree reports were made, and there are also other reports about landslide and 15 floodings, and more than 60 people are under the treatment in the emergencies. And then Hong Kong Observatory announced that there will be more escalated rainfall in a couple of hours, especially in the northern part, and then also storm surge will be heightened in a few hours as well.
And Professor, there have been an unusually high number of typhoons so far this year, and it exceeds the seasonal norm. What do you believe is going on?
So typically in Hong Kong, every year we have around 6 typhoons, but Typhoon Ragasa is already 9th typhoon. So this is actually related to the natural climate variability called El Nino and La Nina. So this year, starting from September, the Eastern Pacific sea surface temperature has been dropped down into La Nina status, and that makes relatively warm water over the Western Pacific. So in that case, areas like South China typically have a more number of tropical cyclones. So that is associated with natural disasters and natural climate variability. But climate change is definitely influencing the intensity and higher rainfall. So during recent decades, many places in Western Pacific and South China, we are experiencing higher number of signals.
Tell us, if you will, what the storm is expected to do next and how long will it remain at such strength?
It's already pretty much weakened, but still it's also quite strong. The maximum wind speed is around 105 kilometers per hour, and then minimum pressure is about 948 millibar. So it will make a landfall in South China in next couple of hours, and then it will be gradually weakened. But as I mentioned, it's bringing southerly wind, and typically the high tide in Hong Kong or southern China is around 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. So if storm surge is on top of the high tide, the impact by the storm surge will be even more dangerous. So we still need to keep our eyes on this type of movement.
As we've been saying, nearly 2 million people have had to leave their homes across China. Our correspondent Laura Bicker sent us this update.
It has become extremely windy in the last hour as this typhoon approaches the southern coast of China and barrels along the coastline. We are expecting winds of 120 miles an hour, and I can now tell you that more than 1 million people have now been relocated to safe ground. Buildings above 10 floors have also been evacuated. We watched some of those evacuations yesterday. People are taping up their windows. They're also making sure that they've got sandbags at the door because of these coastal and tidal surges. Now, when it comes to what authorities are telling us, within the last hour, they have now urged people to try to stay put. The rainfall has slightly eased, which makes the picture look slightly better, but we have seen police on the streets with megaphones urging people to stay inside, and even from our safe little enclave here, we've seen flying debris as these winds pick up, and gusts are pretty hard to even stand up in. As it comes to the evacuation effort throughout the whole of southern China, we're looking at around 11 major Chinese cities are currently at a standstill, and that includes parts of the technology hub of Shenzhen, and of course this province, Guangdong, is known for made in China, is where many of your factory goods are made. Now, some are desperate to get back to work, and as soon as the typhoon subsides, the factories are restarting, but others have had to stop to ensure that their workers don't have to travel in these conditions.